Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien here on the morning of Thursday, February 1st, 2024. Another month, second month of 2024. Today's commentary is on something I saw on CNN yesterday, and they're making light-hearted comments about this. CNN, this is a subject that you can't make light-hearted comments and joke about things like this. And the word is secession, people. CNN, all through the afternoon, on different shows, were making the same comment about the comment from this Texas guy, representative or senator, I don't know who it was, that is calling for Texas seceding from the Union. Well, Texas has all the right to succeed because the Union is not doing things right. And CNN shouldn't take this as a joking matter because, as what one of their so-called experts said, the Constitution says there's no right of a state to succeed. Beg your pardon, a state has the right to leave the Union anytime it wants. It wasn't forced in the Union and is not forced to stay in the Union. There's nothing in the Constitution that I read that says you don't have the right to secede. You actually use force to bring the states back into the Union in 1861 to 65. Okay, you use force. The North, the Union states, forced the Confederacy back in by force. It wasn't, yeah, we'll give you this and we'll give you that and you come back in. No, it was you surrender and then you get occupied by federal troops and then we readmit you into the Union. Readmit. Do you understand, you guys from CNN who's telling you this story, humbug to the people here? There's nothing in the Constitution that says that a state does not have a right to succeed. The Constitution was formed with a big problem. That's why President Jefferson keeps on referring to it as half a loaf. You had no provisions for states coming into the Union and no provisions for states leaving the Union. So the states decided to use secession, which you call rebellion. That's not rebellion. There's been a lot of countries that form other entities and came in and came out. The Soviet Union, for example. Russia formed the Soviet Union sometimes by force, sometimes by coercion, but they formed it in 1922. They dissolved it in 1991, and Russia became Russia, and the rest of the states became their states. There was no more socialist republics or union of socialist republics. Just like the United States is formed the same way. Look at Israel and Egypt and Syria. They tried to form the United Arab Republic. Didn't last long. They both went their separate ways. The Ottoman Empire dissolved because of war. They lost the war and then they couldn't support it. The British Empire couldn't support its colonies, so it had to dissolve them. See what I mean? If Texas, and that's one state in the Union, can actually secede and become a entity of its own because it has the capability of becoming a nation state on its own. Other states will require a lot of assistance. Say like Ukraine trying to become a nation state from Russia, because there's a lot of assistance from the outside. And other states like the Midwest states would have to join together in some sort of a confederation in order, because they had, some states have what other states need, and therefore they don't have the capability of going on their own. Do you understand me, Americans? California could probably go on its own, but it doesn't have the capabilities of Texas. Texas has got everything. They got their own power plant. They can supply their own fuel. And their economy can survive. California's economy can't survive. But if you take both the Texas and the California economies off the Union, you guys are in deep trouble. Because Texas and California can qualify as big nation states on their own. It'll be a little difficult for California, but they can still do it. Texas, a little easier. But Michigan, Florida, Ohio, Indiana, the New England states, and states like Nebraska, Oklahoma, and stuff like that, they can't survive on their own. They got to form a confederation. See what I mean? So CNN, when you bring up secession and you bring it as a joking matter, where you say, well, you know, Texas can't succeed because that honor is due to South Carolina. Mrs. Haley, would you put secession on your top of the list there as a former governor of South Carolina? I don't think so. South Carolina hasn't learned its lesson, or it should have. It's the first state to go null and void in 1820 with the Compromise of 1820 and call it null and void. It's also the first station to secede from the Union. It's been the first station to actually hate the Union. Texas was annexed. It wasn't admitted into the Union, it was annexed, okay? There's a difference there. There's only two states in the Union that had never been admitted to the Union. One, Texas, it was annexed. And two, Hawaii, annexed. They took it over from the Queen, poor Queen. Lenani, remember? In 1893, they went over there and annexed it. And she couldn't do anything about it because she didn't have the power to stop the U.S. government from taking over the land. Mexico didn't have the power to that. They just got annexed. Cost them the war, the Mexican War, but hey, they lost more territory by trying to get Texas. Mexico was bad. They should have just had the United States have it because the United States annexed it and they had no power to say otherwise. And you Texans, I can understand why you want to be seceding because, hey, you guys got annexed. And the federal government is doing nothing. Even if you got admitted to the Union, you states that got admitted to the Union, the 13 original colonies, has the federal government been good to you in the long run in 200 years? Ask Delaware, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. Those are the states you got to ask. Virginia? Well, look what happened to it. It lost half its territory to West Bygone, Virginia because of the war between the states. It lost territory, so no, it hasn't been good to them. Texas? Look at the southern border. They still got Mexican problems even after 200 years. So you guys from CNN who make this joke about secession, it's a real thing, especially today. There's a lot of states that can say that the federal government has done nothing for them. Here in Michigan, the federal government has done nothing. Look at the people that are dying because their kids are committing suicide because of fentanyl and that, and the big companies that are the 21st version of the 20th century's Carnegie and Rockefeller companies, the so-called tech companies, TikTok and formerly what you call it there, and YouTube and ShotSnap and all the other ones there. They're controlling, and Google, don't forget about them. They're a big monopoly. They remind me of John D. Rockefeller's Standard Oil. That's who they are, the 21st version of the 20th century Standard Oil. This is causing more secession than anything else, Americans. When the federal government supposedly says that each one of the state's citizens from the 50 United States are American citizens, yet they're not protecting them. And that's one of the constitutional rights of the federal government. The state's government can't do it. You guys are in trouble because you guys are getting hit with fentanyl problems, people coming in illegally that's being bused by other states who don't want them, as in Texas, busting them over to New York. And New York, you have a problem because you say you are a sanctuary state and sanctuary cities. When did you come up with that stupid idea? You got to look at your own citizens from the state, not the federal government. They could care less about their citizens. This is your favorite alien saying, secession, it's a real possibility, and you guys don't understand it, let alone comprehend it. Good day.